Yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, man. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room with the Michael Parsons situation that happened Friday around lunchtime. And then, most importantly, we're going to get back to football and stick to football and talk to everything and go back to everything that has been going great for us in the offseason, which has just been football. Talking about football scheme, we're going to be talking about training camp and these players that we desperately need to step up for us come next month in September. And, for us to be ready for Philly and for the season. So before we hop into the video, I'd appreciate if you guys will like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. We're going to hop into, we're going to talk about the Mike Parsons situation. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. If I do, I'm passionate. You guys already know that. So, look, the thing with Michael Parsons for me is I'm always going to side with the players, especially because I want to be a sports agent. But not only that, just common sense, right? The Dallas Cowboys, they contradict themselves a lot. But there's no way that the way in which that we team build, you should ever treat a player the way you do. This is what I mean. We preach every single offseason. We pay our players first. We are a draft and develop team. We don't care about free agency. We're not going to spend a bunch of money. And we're not going to trade a bunch of our resources to go get players that we feel that we can draft ourselves and draft players that we want in a particular position. We don't feel like basically the Dallas Cowboys feel like that if they could have spent a third-round pick on a wide receiver in this past draft, they should have over getting a George Pickens. And we traded for Amari Cooper. We treated him like dirt. We got rid of him for nothing. It was all miscommunication, a bunch of BS. And guess what we did? We traded away a better wide receiver to bring back a wide receiver and rush him back from injury, Michael Gallup, because we drafted Michael Gallup in the third round in 2018. I was at that draft. He had a torn ACL. They rushed him back. He wasn't the same player. They kept telling us, "Oh, he's going to be fine. I'll give him next year. Give him a few weeks. Let him get that NFL body right. He's going to be all right." We traded away again. We traded away the better wide receiver because we wanted to treat our kid, which is our draft pick, better than the kid that ain't from the home that was acting better for our own kid. Now, I know that's weird and that's different, but that's how the Dallas Cowboys treat. The Dallas Cowboys treat their draft picks like their children. In any outside acquisition, they treat them like that, an outside child or a stray cat or anything like that. So, if you preach that you are a draft and develop team, and when you're drafting these future Hall of Famers and future All-Pros, I can't say Michael Parsons is going to be a future Hall of Famer. Because if you're in the same list of Reggie White in anything, you're going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no way that F what Michael Parsons does on the football field, that speaks for itself. That money is clear. He's a family man. He don't got 15 baby mamas. He ain't out here stabbing people in the net. He ain't out here doing coke. He is the best superstar, one of the best superstars that have ever played for this star right here, and be level-headed and ain't on no BS. He ain't never been on none of the stuff that Michael Irvin, Emmett, none of them. Eric Williams, Charles Haley, Dion, when he better than all of them cats that was here that was winning Super Bowls. Yes, I know they was winning Super Bowls. You're right. But damn it, if you build around this team properly like you're supposed to, like how you did 30 years ago, Michael Parsons probably has played in at least a Super Bowl or two. But we're not going to talk about that. But again, if you pride yourself on draft and develop, and these players the players that you drafted developed into all pros, what's the problem in paying them? When our player is the best at his position or one of the best in his positions, and he wants to ask for top dollar from his client or from his representatives, it's always a problem. But when a high playmaking level like a cornerback like Trey Diggs did before he got his contract, he signed a 5-year deal. He signed the deal that the Joneses wanted a star player to do. So did Terrence Steele. And the only thing that has been wrong with them is they've been dealing with nagging injuries. And they get talked like dogs in the media because they couldn't control the type of outcomes that happened into their careers in the past 2 to 3 years. Micah Parsons has been the consistent pro, never been in no trouble. He just wants to talk. He's like me. He wants to play the game, talk football, and be good at what the fuck he do. And he gets treated like shit for it by his bosses. That's crazy to me. But that's about it, man. In terms of talking about the Micah situation. Now we're going to go on to practice, man. So, Kyle Yeoman, shout out to him. He had practice notes. The defense was dominating early. Dominez Araku and Jay Toia continue their great rookie camps. Shamar James was running with the ones. And you guys are going to see clips of it. Shamar James was doing his thing today in practice. So was Marist Leofow punching the ball out. He's getting that Shaq Leonard, Fred Warner type of knockout punch when you're having those wide receivers and those lighter bodies getting up to you. You're knocking the ball out. And he's doing his thing. And I'm proud of these linebackers. And I really do feel like your linebackers, even though to some it might be a question, I really do feel like it's going to be one of your better strengths on your team. And prayerfully, one tech is figured out by either, you know, Perrion Winfrey steps up, Jay Tuia is solid for you. I'm not expecting him to be, again, I'm not, the same thing I said about Mozzie, what year he got drafted, 23. So 3 years ago, I'm giving Jay Tuia the same thing. I'm giving him 3 years, and I'm not asking him to be Superman. If he's just a rotational, really solid player, when we put him in there, that's fine. But we need to figure out how to stop this run. And I still feel like the Dallas Cowboys need to sign a few players. But CeeDee Lamb with 2 of the best highlights so far. You guys did see that on part of the clip. Shout out to John Machota for the training camp clips. But there was a catch down the left side. There was 2 catches on the left side, really. But mainly on the hash, you had CeeDee Lamb catching a seam ball down the field. And he had it, bobbled it, caught it while still maintaining possession and everything like that. And CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a catch. And then CeeDee Lamb had a long touchdown or a long completion down the left sideline, which you guys saw another clip of that. But there was limited action from new tackles getting acclimated. It was a better day from Milton in the passing game, still scrambling a lot. What I am hearing from people that are on the ground, you feel like that is a major problem with the young quarterbacks. Just really overall, that's always a young quarterback's problem, no matter what level he plays at. When he's holding on to that ball too long, it just causes a lot of havoc, and it makes things a bigger issue than what it needs to be. So obviously, you know, he's one of those guys that he knows what his ability is, what he can do, the type of athleticism he has, the type of arm he has. A lot of quarterbacks that know that they're so physically gifted than other quarterbacks at their position or around their age, they just feel like they're Superman. And sometimes you are. But most times when you're underdeveloped from a mental aspect of the game, which Joe Milton is for right now, he's going to get a lot better learning under a savvy vet and from a player that wins from his mind in Dak Prescott. Joe Milton is going to be a fine player. If he just gets the ball out quickly at his size and his frame, he's going to be a damn good quarterback in this league. But that's from what I see on the clips, from what people talk about him, and from what we saw how much of a better quarterback he was at that last game he played for New England versus what he was in August of that year. The last note that they made, shout out to Kyle Yeomans again, middle of the field has been tough in the passing game recently. More success to the boundary because of coverage by linebackers and safeties. Again, talked about Marist Leofow, Shamar James, Damone Clark, Jack Sanborn, you know, linebacker, safeties that have been making some plays. Malik Hooker. I've seen Elijah Clark, which is our high prioritized free agent. They get $250,000, which, why do I know that? Because we do this every single year. But anyway, Elijah Clark, he had a PBU on Dak Prescott and picked off Joe Milton. Elijah Clark has been doing his thing. Just some things I want to talk about from what I'm getting away from these notes and what I'm taking away from it. I do feel like our defense is going to go back to taking the ball away, which it wasn't too much of a problem last year. We just had a crap ton of injuries. Again, we had a new scheme, but I do feel like the point of emphasis on this team is to get upfield and take the ball away. So I think we're going to get back to playing Dan Quinn football. on the defensive side of the ball, but I think we're going to actually use and have a modernized offense to pair with that Dan Quinn-like defense. Yes, Dan Quinn defense got you to the playoffs. It got you where it needed to be. But there was times in which that Dan Quinn defense was undisciplined and didn't want to match personnel, which I do feel like Matt Eberflus is willing to do, unlike Dan Quinn. But I do feel like this offense is going to be a lot more modernized. But the one thing I want to touch on about the defense before we get into the offense, I feel like the defense needs a few pieces until they get most of their guys back. What I mean by most of their guys, until they get Michael Parsons gets back from the contract, you get Trayvon Diggs coming back from rehab. You have Savon Revel Jr. that's more confident in his knee. You get Josh Butler, who stepped up for you last year. You get those guys coming back from injury. Kalen Carson, once you get your reinforcements back around November, December, and then your defense is able to play pretty decent football until then, I think you're going to be fine. We need to fix the one-tech position. We need to fix the cornerback position. So for me to feel comfortable and for this defense to actually, become something, for it to be a true defense that come playoff time we'll be worried about. But talking about a Dan Quinn-like defense, I don't care for the turnovers, because turnovers, they come and go. We saw that. There's going to be games where a team's not going to give you the ball. Can you get 3 and outs? Can you stop the run? Can you make a play when you need to make a play on 3rd and 8? Can your pass rushers get home? That's what matters to me the most versus are we leading the league in takeaways? Again, leading the league in takeaways, that's cool. That's great to have the Dallas Cowboys defense on fantasy. But when we're talking about real life, I need 3 and outs and I need productive outs. 3 and outs and stopping the run is going to take you farther along in the playoffs versus taking the ball away, because we've seen this team take the ball away a crap ton from 21 years of 2021, 22, 23, take the ball away. And then once we get into the playoffs, over the course of those 3 years, we had maybe 2 turnovers in the, 4 or 5 playoff games we played. So consistent. Now talking about it from the offensive standpoint, I think what this offense did in 2023, where Dak Prescott arguably played his best football of his career in year 8, being a second-team All-Pro type of player, CeeDee Lamb being almost close to being a Triple Crown wide receiver, but still was All-Pro, still was a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and then you had Jake Ferguson, who had 800, close to 900 yards, and was elected a Pro Bowl at the tight end position. You knew that offense didn't fully reach its potential because of how limited we were up until that Chargers game. For 5 weeks, we're BSing on offense, and we finally figured it out around that Charger LA Ram game. We finally figured it out just a tad bit, and we got it going in late October, November. We got it going. So I do feel that this offense being more modernized, and if this offensive line is a true weapon from not only the pass protection standpoint, but also in the run game, and we're creative when we're using Kevontae Turpin and our bevy of running backs, and we're motioning our tight ends, we're utilizing motion everywhere in shifts, I think we're going to be just fine, and I think we're going to be a top 2 offense this year. So, again, I think we're going to be really, you stay healthy, players execute, coaches coach their butts off, we're going to be fine from an offensive standpoint, and I'm not worried about what the Dallas Cowboys do offensively or defensively. But if health is an issue, we don't find ways to get better by improving and actually using the model of player acquisition 365 days a year. And you pair that up with players not being scared, and we have the culture, and you talking about eliminating the outside noise and the inside noise that comes from upstairs, I believe the Dallas Cowboys will be fine. But we're going to find out. We're already dealing with some adversity with the Micah trade, injuries. Again, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.